Agile Therapeutics is it's an emerging women's healthcare company. We're dedicated to building a company, a therapeutic company around identifying and hopefully bringing therapies for unmet needs for women and OBGYN community. Last year was an exciting year for us in 2020. Our first product got approved by the Food and Drug Administration was Twerla.
Twerla is for use in women of reproductive potential with a BMI less than 30 kilograms per meter squared, for whom a combined hormonal contraceptive is appropriate. Consider Twerla's reduced effectiveness in women with a BMI greater than or equal to 25 to less than 30 kilograms per meter squared before prescribing. Twerla is contraindicated in women with a BMI greater than or equal to 30 kilograms per meter squared. Please see boxed warning regarding cardiovascular risks associated with smoking and with having a BMI over 30, as well as other important safety information at the end of this video.
Twerla is a once-a-week contraceptive patch. It's an alternative to birth control pills. In this case, women, rather than taking, say, 28 birth control pills, they'll take a once-a-week patch. So she wears a single patch, and she wears one patch for 1 week, so she'll wear a total of 3 patches, and the 4th week she goes patch-free. And our challenge is to bring back, this idea of a patch. Why is a patch an important method for a woman? We really believe in two things fundamentally. Number one, giving women access to in our case, reproductive or birth control methods. So that's number one. And number two is choices. And we're big advocates of all methods. We really encourage women to select the right method. But there seems to be a gap in the marketplace, and we think Twerla addresses that gap.
The challenges I face when determining an appropriate birth control method for a patient, it's a team decision, so it involves the patient as well as me. However, it is my job to teach the patient about the pros and cons of each option. Some of the challenges that my patients experience with the birth control pill. Patients oftentimes will say that they have difficulty remembering to take a pill every single day, and that's not specific to just birth control pills, but there's an extra layer of importance when you're talking about a hormonal contraceptive agent. Another aspect of birth control pills is when you take a pill, you get this spike in a hormone level, and then that drops off. Some women are really, really sensitive to those increases and decreases in those circulating levels. And so that's where it can be really helpful to offer multiple options. Twerla is a transdermal system. It is the first patch in nearly 20 years to come on the market. It offers the lowest dose estrogen compared to the other patches on the market. As with many or all hormonal contraceptive agents, there are some warnings that we need to be compliant with and understand. And one of those is that this is contraindicated in women with a BMI of greater than or equal to 30. One thing that I was very excited to see in the publications regarding the final data on Twerla was that the population studied was extremely ethnically diverse, which was fantastic. It was very representative of the US population. One other great thing about Twerla and the studies done on it were that women over 35 were included in the clinical trials. We do know that over 35, there's an increased risk of cardiovascular events. And so we were able to study this population in Twerla. One of the biggest concerns about wearing a transdermal patch is that it may fall off. Twerla utilizes a unique system called skin fusion. So it's a method that involves woven fabric, essentially, to offer a product that adheres and stays on the skin. And this unique skin fusion technology has proven in a clinical trial of a year that 95% of patches stay on.
In a year-long clinical trial, 5% of patches fully detached. Full detachment rates were higher for transdermal systems exposed to water as compared to transdermal systems with no water exposure. Subject-reported adhesion was generally better for the abdomen as compared to the upper torso and buttock.
In the clinical trials on Twerla, it was found that it is 95% effective at preventing pregnancy, which is consistent with Tier 2 hormonal contraceptive options. So we do know that this medication is safe and it's effective at preventing pregnancy for patients that are not yet ready to conceive.
The most common adverse reactions, greater than or equal to 2%, in a clinical trial for women using Twerla were application site disorders, nausea, headache, dysmenorrhea, and increased weight.
Agile Therapeutics, we like to think of ourselves as a women's healthcare company. We want to have a long-standing commitment to bring innovative therapies, that meet significant unmet needs, both for women and their healthcare providers. So that's our simple mission. Twerla is an important, first step in becoming that company.
Important safety information. There are serious risks associated with Twerla, including the risk of serious cardiovascular events that increases with age and with the number of cigarettes smoked. For this reason, Twerla is contraindicated in women over 35 who smoke. Twerla is contraindicated in women with a BMI of 30 or more. Women with a BMI of 30 or more had reduced effectiveness and may have a higher risk of venous thromboembolic events, or VTEs, than women with a lower BMI. Twerla is contraindicated in women with high risk of arterial or venous thrombotic disease, women with headaches with focal neurological symptoms, migraine with aura, women over 35 years of age with any migraine headache, liver tumors, acute viral hepatitis or severe cirrhosis or liver disease, undiagnosed abnormal uterine bleeding, pregnancy, current or history of breast cancer or other estrogen or progestin-sensitive cancer, hypersensitivity to any components of Twerla, and use of certain hepatitis C drug combinations. Discontinue Twerla if jaundice develops. CHCs like Twerla are associated with an increased risk of VTE and arterial events, hypertension, gallbladder disease, and headache. Twerla may decrease glucose tolerance. Consider alternative contraception for women with uncontrolled dyslipidemia. Women using Twerla may experience unscheduled bleeding, especially during the first 3 months of use, or experience absence of scheduled bleeding. If bleeding persists or occurs after previously regular cycles on Twerla, or if scheduled bleeding does not occur, evaluate for causes such as pregnancy or, in the case of unscheduled bleeding, malignancy. Other warnings and precautions include depression, cervical cancer, increased serum concentrations of binding globulins, hereditary angioedema, and cloasma. In a Phase 3 clinical trial, serious adverse reactions occurring in less than 1% of women were cholelithiasis, cholecystitis, major depression, suicidal ideation, appendicitis, ectopic pregnancy, pneumonia, and gastroenteritis. In that trial, a total of 4 VTEs in Twerla-treated patients were identified. The most common adverse reactions in clinical trials for Twerla are application site disorders, nausea, headache, dysmenorrhea, and increased weight. Drugs or herbal products that induce certain enzymes, including CYP3A4, may decrease the effectiveness of Twerla or increase breakthrough bleeding. Twerla does not protect against HIV infection, AIDS, and other sexually transmitted infections, STIs. This is not a comprehensive list of safety information related to Twerla. Please see full prescribing information, including boxed warning, at www.twerla.com. To report suspected adverse reactions, call 1-855-389-4752 or report via the FDA MedWatch program at www.fda.gov/medwatch or 1-800-FDA-1088.